Says my speak is not. I see. My speech can be heard, but nobody else's can be. All right, let's just continue. There we go. Good. Okay, good. Everything is good. Good. All right. Back to the beginning. I'm sorry, there were technical difficulties, which I hope nobody's aware of. So I'm going to tell you what it says over here. This is a speech by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. This was about Yud Shvat. Now, this week, Tuesday night is going to be Yud Shvat. This was the speech which was given in 1969. Huh? 1969. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a summary of what we said up to now, because we said it all in Yiddish, and it is that because this is the day that the previous Rebbe passed away, and at the day when a tzaddik passes away, is all of the work that he did in his whole life comes as one conglomerate blessing on this one day. And so because he wrote a mimer, he wrote a Hasidic discourse, and it ended up being for this day. And therefore, we can see in it, from in the beginning, the first 5 paragraphs of it enumerate the whole purpose, this whole, the message that he wants to give over to mankind, to Judaism. He wants to activate the Jews, wants to make the Jews excited, enthusiastic about bringing Moshiach, about the redemption. What does this mean? To spread Torah. The whole idea of the Torah is to spread out the Torah and make everybody aware of God. That God is creating everybody. God has a reason for creating everybody. God loves everybody. Nobody is here by accident. And every human being has responsibility to the world, to the Creator, to himself. And the way to fulfill this is with the Torah. So there was the 2 points that the Rebbe wanted to make. Number one, we must spread Torah and mitzvahs everywhere. To everyone, to every single Jew especially. Every Jew, no matter how low, where they are, no matter how low they are in understanding and in observance, if they're opposed to observe, they're totally distant and how do you say, against any sort of Judaism or Torah or learning or any restrictions whatsoever. Even to those people, you have to try to bring to them Torah and the commandments. This is hinted at also in the beginning of this mimer that I just talked about, that he issued, namely that in the beginning of creation, God's presence was everywhere. It was in this world, it was present. The world was filled with the awareness of God. And all we want to do is just return it the way it was. So that means everywhere is relevant to spread Judaism. Number one. Number two, how do we do this? The person might think, well, I can put it off. It was already here before, so it's going to be, it's not such a big, not so urgent. Says the Rebbe, no, it's very urgent. And then he stresses at the end of the 5 paragraphs, the first 5 paragraphs of this 20-paragraph essay, the first 5 paragraphs, the end of it, he says, no one knows when he's going to die. Don't put good things off till tomorrow. Don't put good things off till tomorrow. You want to put something bad off till tomorrow, that's not a bad idea. Put it off till tomorrow. Keep putting it off. Want to do a bad thing? Say, okay, tomorrow I'll do it. And maybe, who knows, before you get around, God forbid, to do a bad thing, maybe you'll leave the world. But to do a good thing, you don't want to put it off because maybe you'll leave the world before. Okay, so there's the 2 points. Number one, to spread Judaism everywhere and to do it with alacrity. How do you say that word? Alacrity, quickness. Because this brings the beginning and the end of the mimer, those 2 midrashim. So it shows that the 2 points that we said before, which are so essential to life, and especially to Judaism, and especially to the point of Judaism, which is to bring Moshiach. Why doesn't this turn pages? Why not? There we go. So because he brings at the beginning this first idea, and in the end he brings this last idea. The first idea is we have to spread Judaism everywhere, and the last idea is we have to do it as quickly and as speedily as possible. So this shows as the arbit that the work we have to do has to be done bezrizus quickly. Mit midrash in the beginning, in the midrash that it says in the beginning of the mimer, this shows that it has to be darf barstein the arbit gufa verspreiden. This tells you what you have to do. You have to spread Torah and mitzvahs everywhere, and you have to do it as efficiently and quickly as possible. B'shas yid, when a Jew betracht he thinks. When a Jew thinks in the matzav, in the situation of the world, but all which this world is doch, like the first Rebbe of Chabad said, male klippas, it's filled with shells and sitra achra. The world is very, very external and very, how do you say, concealing. It conceals good, it conceals life, it conceals meaning. And sitra achra, and it reveals egotism and separateness, and selfishness. Thus says this means as yeder nekuda, that every point, everything in this world is full mit klippas. Everything in this world is filled with shells, concealment. Everywhere you look, you just see the shell. You don't see the fruit. You don't see the good godliness inside of anything. Bizaz, until the nomen from Olam Hazeh, the whole world was their nomen yeder zach, based off the muhus, that the name in Hebrew for a world is, the Alter Rebbe calls it Olam HaKlippas v'Sitracha, the world of Klippa and Sitracha, the world of shells and the other side. Godliness is good, that's like the fruit, and the whole world covers over that, we don't see it. And where is godliness found? Inside of everything. So the whole world is really godliness. So it ends up that the world is concealing over the godliness which creates it and enlives it. Can air by zich trachten. So a person could think, because is God. He made a world in such a way that it will be filled with klippas and it will hide over God. Is doch nit shaykh. So therefore, it's not possible that I can remove them. Und wie bald, and because it's so, as well ich sich up zundern. Therefore, I should just separate myself from the world. Und sein abgeschlossen, and lock myself in my little area of prayer and Torah, and not having anything to do with the world. Which that's a pretty good idea. That's pretty much what everybody does. Anyway, everybody has their own little life and their own, bar that they go to and their own, club or whatever. So everybody sort of hangs around with their own type of people. So that's what we should do also. We Jews, especially religious Jews, we're so few and frail, and we're so outnumbered, and the world is so powerful. So let's just, keep a low profile and keep to ourselves. Afterward, that's the way God made the world. God made the world that we would be few and weak, says the Rebbe. Of them on this, the Rebbe says immediately in the beginning of the Mimer that exactly the opposite. Das was the vil, that the fact which the world is a world of klippas. It's the world of concealment. Is us. This is not an inyan was mitzad dem etzem mehus, is not from the essence of the world. It's necessary to be that way, but is a zugekumen nazach. This is an additional thing. An inyan was is netvosef. This is added on gavorin la'achre, after a creation. In the beginning, God created the world. The world was good. The world is essentially good, but by means of the sin of Adam, then something was added to the world. An extra thing. It's not that the world changed. The world doesn't change. The goodness of the world is still revealed, but it was covered. That's what klip is, to cover. But from the essence of the world is gor faran, a mila. There's a great thing in this physical world, even greater than the upper worlds. Varum, because Ikar Shechina, because we said that the main presence of God is in this physical world. Okay, so therefore, what are we saying? The world is good, but it's just hidden, and we have to remove that concealment, that klippa, that shell. And a person can say, 1 second. It might be good that in the beginning of the creation, maybe the world was good. But now is doch the Welt, the world is filled with klippas and Rishoim Govrimbo, and the evil people are succeeding. So, maybe at one time it used to be great, but now you just have to lock yourself away like in Noah's Ark until the flood subsides. That's what you could think. Then on this, it comes the explanation later on in the Maimar as the Taklis, the whole purpose of the creation of the world is thus nishave. God desires that he should have a dwelling in the lower worlds. Because the kavana, the whole intention, is certainly will be durchfir, will occur, it will be carried out. Varum because vibaltas the mitzios, because the existence of the creation is b'shafen gavarn. It was created un zivert b'shafen. It is being created every single instant, brand new. To leave in order to fulfill this intention is doch nit shaykh. So therefore, it's not relevant as the inyane bria, that the matters of the creation, what people do, the sin of the tree of knowledge, etc. Zolen haben koch, that they could have any power to oppose unitzulazen and not allow this oisfirm from the kavanah that it should be done. So in the end, that the world will be a dwelling for God. So it comes out as the Yitzchak Shinoi, the main difference in the world is Olam Klippas. Now the world is a world of shells, is a Shinoi Choser Libriaso. It's a change that's going to come back to its original state. Let me just give you a certain example. Let's say, for instance, that you could see into the future, right? And you knew that you were going to become a professor in mathematics. But right now you don't know anything, right? Or it's a child, he's 5 years old, doesn't show any particular signs of intelligence or even any sort of inclination to mathematics, not interested. But someone comes along and says, you are going to be a professor in mathematics. Okay, and this person is never wrong. Okay, what's the child going to do? He's going to sit around and do nothing. It means he's going to work hard. He's going to work hard and he's going to enjoy it, and he's going to be, just because the prophecy is going to be, it doesn't mean you're going to don't have to work. It's the same thing here. God says for sure the world is going to be fixed up, but we have to work. But here it's even more so. The child was not a genius in the beginning. Here we're saying the world was filled with godliness in the beginning. The world was a place where you could see, feel that there's a creator. And it was even more, the world was a place where you could reciprocate. You could give back to the creator. You could repay the creator something that even the angels or whatever they can't do. That's what this physical world is. That's the way the world was created in the beginning. The world tumbled down. Now we're like the 5-year-old child that doesn't know anything about mathematics. Just give the example of mathematics. Doesn't know anything. But here we have even better. It's not that it's like a 5-year-old child that when he was 3, he was a total genius in mathematics, and then suddenly he forgot it for whatever reason it is. So don't worry, you'll get it back again. You have to go to the school. And you saw that you were a genius, you're going to be a genius again. The same thing, the world was perfect. It was revealed godliness. Man was happy to be able to serve the creator. Well, it's going to be that way again. Not only that, says the Rebbe, here's something even more. There's a law that says, Shino Yachosu Lebriaso, a change that goes back to what it was, because in the end, but kuman atziur, but as ruach atuma avir min oretz, visa is given like it was before the sin, and the shina chosel lebriaso is lo shemeshina, a thing that you change, and the change is going to go away, so it's not really called a change. It's like signing your name with invisible ink, right? You sign your name with invisible ink. The time when even when the signature is there. Even when the signature is there, so 1 second, I have to answer this for my wife. Hello. Shalom. אני אפתח את הדלת ותביא. טוב, אני עסוק בחדר, תביא. Hello. Okay, where we go? Let's back to this. Here we go. What's this? I didn't stop. I thought I stopped. I thought I stopped. Okay. All right, let's go. Everybody heard that. No problem. So it comes out. So it comes out that a change like you sign a check with an invisible ink. So if the signature, even when it's there, is no good, because you know in a second it's not going to be good. It's also the same thing that says a person that he wrecks something of his friends. You wreck something, but it's going to go back to be the way it was before, so it's not considered to be that you really wrecked it. And said that there's other examples, but this is a change that is only temporary, is not really a change. So the world was perfect in the beginning when God created it. It was a perfect world. One second, where are we now? Where are we? Oh, good. We got up there. Good. It says a change that goes back to its original is not really a change. Heist, it means es is doch as the penimius that in the inside is euch itzter the welt dir. Just like the world was a dwelling place and you could feel godliness in the world even more than in the upper worlds when Adam was created. So Adam wrecked it, but he wrecked it only temporarily. Temporarily, it's already been 5,000 years, 5,700 years. But that when it comes back to being original, as we'll realize it was potential, it was like it never was. How this is going to be, I have no idea, but that's what it's going to be. Uberfran, and especially, 1 minute, there we go. Come on. And especially, no, it's supposed to get bigger. All right, I get it. Here we go. How does it go? All right. And is the Shina, so the change, it's not really a change. In other words, that Adam ate from the tree and he plunged the world into darkness. It's really not darkness because in the core, it's really good. And it's for sure promised that it's going to be that way again. It's going to certainly go back to the way it was. And because that the revelation in the future was going to be in such a way that Malay or the world will be filled with the knowledge of God, like water fills the ocean. So all of the creation will know. Yodea kol po'oke ata pa'alto. This is our prayers of Rosh Hashanah. Every creation will know, God, that you're creating it. So it comes out as oich, so that even now is a zoe, it's really so. On yeder nekuda, that every point, every detail of the world, even in such a place, is nagdus delukus, even places where it seems that it's opposite of godliness. It's adira, the place, the world is ready to be a dwelling for God in the world. They have to remember the Rebbe is saying this in 60? What do we say? In 1960, this was like 20 years after the Holocaust. You know, people saw the worst of the lowest of the low. There was no such a, right. That's what we said, 1969. So they saw the lowest of the low. Said the Rebbe, don't worry. The fact of the matter is it's low and it's terrible and it's painful and it's awful. But we're going to see that, in fact, it's just a covering. And when the covering comes off, we're going to see that it really was nothing. The world will be filled with the knowledge of God like the ocean is filled with water. So it comes out that even now, every point in the world is really filled with the awareness of God. And therefore, Darfman Mayfields, therefore we can spread Judaism every place in the world in order to reveal the good, which is just waiting to be revealed. And we'll talk about this more, God willing. Tomorrow I will be in, but like I said before, I'm going to put these classes up on YouTube so that everyone will be able to see it. Sorry for the technical difficulties we just had now, but it was worth it. We're about 1/3 way through this. It's very beautiful. And why the world is just waiting for our good deeds. Have a good day with Moshiach now, and I'll see you all, God willing. Hopefully Tuesday I'll be making classes again. Tuesday, but you'll have to look on YouTube to get them. Shalom uvracha, Yud Shvat Sameach. Have a good Yud Shvat.